Hey, I'm Brian Cohn of B Cone Knives, and this video is my entry for the Bowie Knife Challenge. Let's get into it. This is a piece of Alabama Damascus I'll be making my Bowie out of, and I've already laid out the lines for an 8-inch Bowie. This knife is just a little bit too thin for my likings, so I'm gonna go ahead and forge it out just a little bit wider, but before I do that, I'm gonna cut it down to a general shape. The idea here is not to get down to absolute perfect, it's just to get a general shape. So cutting it down on the bandsaw helps that tremendously. To forge out the bevels, we went ahead and moved everything outside so it's not quite so hot in the shop. Let's get it fired up. While I'm forging this out, let's talk about the Bowie Knife Challenge. I am absolutely honored that Aaron from A. Lee Knives and Dennis from Tyrell Knife Works invited me to be a part of this. This challenge has 19 different knife makers all making their version of a Bowie knife. You will have the opportunity to watch all of us make our version of a Bowie knife and then at the end, vote for your favorite. I am by far and away the smallest channel in this challenge, so I would appreciate your vote. Whether you vote for me or not, please consider subscribing to my channel. Forging out the bevels was an absolute success. We gained a little bit of height this way, but with my distal taper that I put in, I gained over an inch in length. So it went from just shy of 8 inches to now just over 9-inch blade. So my next process will be to grind it back down to nice crisp lines, kind of even out some of the ugliness of this forging. And then after that, I will be putting in the hole in the tang. So I'm doing a hidden tang knife here without a milling machine, which means I need to get this front leading edge completely flat before I try to fit up the guard. Now, you really want to make sure that this is absolutely precise when you file this away,
so that, you know, all of this is perfectly flat. Otherwise, the guard is never gonna fit up cleanly, and I'm looking for an absolutely perfect fit up on that guard. Roughly 1/8 of an inch out here, and as you go, it's getting thinner and thinner, which is exactly what you want. Now I have my tang tapered from thick here to thin here, which is exactly what I wanted. Now I need to square up these spots right here with the files. What you just saw me do is I drilled 2 holes at 1/4 inch because my pin is gonna be 1/4 inch, and then I connected those holes with the files. So I just spent a lot of time making sure that those 2 holes lined up. That gives me a little bit of leeway when I'm fitting up the handles and drilling that hole. That gives me just a little bit extra room to make sure that that hole goes through this hole in the tang.
Here, I'm doing some normalizing cycles on my Bowie knife. This is where I heat it up in the forge just past magnetic and then let it air cool as I clamp it in the vise. This actually drastically shrinks the grain structure in the blade and will make it a lot less susceptible to cracking. Now, you only need to do about 4 normalizing cycles, but I did 5 just to make sure.
From what I could tell, that heat treat seemed pretty successful. My guess is there will be an ever so slight warp one way or the other, but I can always fix that with a shim temper. It seemed like it got hot enough, and the only thing I can do is to wait and pull that out and check it with a file.
It's nice and straight on the spine and on the cutting edge. Seems to be skating just like glass, which is exactly what you're looking for. It sounds like it's hard from heel all the way to tip and everywhere in between. This is nice and hard. Now I'm gonna go throw it in the oven to anneal it down.
It's a hot second day in the shop, and this is where we're at. It's all heat treated and perfectly laser straight, which I'm very happy with. But today, we're gonna be fitting up this brass guard. I've never really done one before, so we're gonna jump over on the drill press and get it done. I realized what I did there on the drill press is not the intended purpose of the drill press. using it to kind of wallow out those holes and use it kind of like a milling machine is dangerous, so please do not do that. I just figure because this is brass, which is a very soft metal, that I could get away with it. If I had a milling machine, obviously I'd use that to slot the Tang Hole, but I just had to do what I had to do. I am very happy with how this guard fit up. It is incredibly flush, and it's just as good as I could have expected with the tools that I had. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and grind in those bevels. The first process on this is to drill a 1/2 inch hole so I can fit the dowel in there, and then I'll be doing the geometry to figure out where the Tang Hole is gonna go. I've never done this before, so I'm just gonna have to cross my fingers and pray on this one. So I tried to freehand it and I had a complete blowout. So now I've done the super janky brace system, and I guess we're just gonna try to make this work. We made it! So I really want the pin to land exactly between this maple and the purple heartwood, but that means that I only have about 30 thou of clearance in that tang hole. So I've got to be absolute perfect. I see daylight. Perfect. After my first fit up, I've decided that this giant bottom thing here is just a little bit too much. I also forgot to put the hole in the bottom, so I'm gonna go ahead and freehand drill the hole, but then I'm going to be cutting this down so that I can grind it flush with the bottom. All right, so next is getting the tang hole through the dowels. I totally forgot to drill the holes in the dowel itself, and I've already done a lot of my sculpting of the handle, so I don't really have a good way to keep it flush this way or this way. So I'm just gonna have to kinda set it there and hope I can drill that square enough where it doesn't start spinning on me. To be perfectly honest, I had no expectation for this to come out as good as it has. Doing this for the first time, a lot of that was just completely flying by the seat of my pants and just kind of remembering all of the things that I've seen on YouTube from Brian House and Ailey Knives and a bunch of other guys that are also in this competition, which is so special to me to be a part of this. I am super happy with how it's come together so far. We'll come back for a fourth day working on this to just kind of clean up all of the little things and make it look nice and pretty. I am very happy with how this thing's turned out so far. There's a few things that I'm going to have to modify when I finish it today. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually gonna trim down this crossguard. I think that it looks a little bit too long. So I've actually went ahead and drawn out some Sharpie lines to the point where I'm going to cut it down to. I really think that reducing the size of that crossguard is going to make this thing look a little bit more proportional. And then from there, I'm going to be cleaning up the butt area.
Axe Wax is my absolute favorite wood conditioner because it makes my handle material pop every time. They're not a sponsor, but I just wanted to shout them out because they make fantastic stuff.
Did I get through all of them?
No way! There's no way you just did that! There's no way! I have to watch the tape back. What the?
Did I? I am so happy with how this Bowie knife turned out, and for being my first ever Bowie knife, I'm pretty proud of it. I am also incredibly grateful for being allowed to be a part of this Bowie knife challenge. If you check down in the descriptions down below, you can check out all of the other Bowie knife challenge videos and vote for them in a link down in the description. Thank you all for your support. Please go ahead and check out my Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I do have a TikTok channel. Again, please go ahead and check out all of the other submissions to the Bowie knife challenge. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day.